Well, happy Monday once again, everyone. Bryan Devore, Devore Realty Group, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties. Last Monday market moment of 2024. Last week, I kind of teased that we'd be doing a preview of 2025. And actually, right now, we're going to do a look back at 2024. And then next week, we're going to look ahead to 2025. But first, let's look at the latest stats. Right now, we have 3,604 homes for sale throughout San Diego County, down 239 from last week. Median list price 949. We have an average days on market of 69 days, higher than it was last week. Pending sale 1768, down 68 from last week. Now, again, last week was Christmas, so the escrow companies were closed. People were doing the holiday stuff. So that's why you see some lower numbers. But interestingly, fewer pending sales than active listings. That's kind of interesting. Median list price of 875, lower than last week. Average days on market is 40. Months of inventory went up a little bit, 2.38. Still pretty low, but a little bit higher than it was last week. Here's a chart showing the totals. You can see the steady decline in inventory. You can see the steady decline in the number of homes in escrow. What happened last week? Well, as we kind of expected, big drop in the number of new listings that came on the market. 206, down 102 versus last week. Median list price, $950,000. New pendings, 140, down 143 from last week. So more people put homes on the market than bought homes last week. Median list price 821, 944, down from last week. Average days on market 34, 5 fewer days. New pendings listed within the last week 7. New pendings listed within the last 2 weeks 36. So 5% of homes sold in 1 week last week. 26% of homes sold in the last that went pending were only on the market for 2 weeks or less. How many homes closed escrow last week? Big drop, 206. Same number of homes that came on the market, actually, down 150 from last week. And that's because people can still put a home on the market. They could still go under contract, but you can't close escrow if escrow is closed. And we had 1 fewer day available for that last week. Median list price, 917, 450. And median sales price, 910, both higher than the week before. Average days on market, 37. The least expensive sale was a condo in Lake San Marcos for $165,000. Cardiff had the most expensive sale, $5,250,000. Here's a chart showing new actives, new pendings, and new closed sales. You can see all were much lower than it had been the last couple of months. And again, that's because of Christmas. Again, the interesting stat, the same number of homes came on the market as closed escrow last week. And here's a chart showing median list price and median sales price back up to where it was earlier this month. Okay, Stephen Thomas took a look back at 2024 for the market in San Diego, and he had 3 really good charts. He had active listings year over year, he had demand, and he had market time. So let's first look at active listings. You can see 2024 is this line right here, the purple line. Where did we start out here? We started out somewhere about 2,500 homes for sale, a little bit lower than that. Inventory kept climbing, and we hit a peak later than we usually do. And that's because homes kept coming on the market and homes were sitting on the market because interest rates were still high. And so we had that combined effect to have more inventory on the market. People were kind of still hunkered down, locked in to lower interest rates. And then inventory just kind of fell off a cliff. But it followed sort of the same trend line as in years past. So we're ending the year with more inventory than we've had in quite a while. Still less than the 3-year average from 2017 to 2019 before COVID, but we have more inventory now than we did last year, the year before, and the year before that. 2021 had, historically ridiculously low inventory. Looking at demand for the year, we started out with the lowest demand throughout the last several years. Interest rates were high, so demand was low, affordability was tough. But then demand did kind of follow the normal trend line of the last few years. And it's a similar trend line to last year. Demand actually went up in September and October versus last year because rates came down. We had a nice reprieve of about a month and a half where rates were down a little bit above 6%. So we did see more demand. We had higher demand than we did last year. We had higher demand than we did the year before. And it's kind of come down, but we're right around the same demand line point as we were last year and the year before. Still less demand than in 2021 when rates were 2 to 3%, and still less demand than we had in the 3-year average before COVID. So again, affordability is a tough pill to swallow right now for a lot of people when rates are higher and prices are higher also. And then looking at expected market time, how long we think homes should take to sell. And you can see we are the 2024 purple line again. Market time, we expected homes to take longer than we had in 2021 and in 2022. Expected market time was actually a little bit lower than it was last year. And then it dropped as we expect as the spring season kind of comes around, and then it went up and it shot up quite a bit to the point where back in September, the expected market time was the highest it's been in a very long time. Homes were taking longer. People expected the homes to take longer to sell because inventory was still high, but demand was muted. And it did come down as we had the demand rise when rates came down. Then it went back up again. Where do we end the year right now? Well, the expected market time right now is still lower than the 3-year average, but it's highest it's been in a while. So people are still kind of waiting on the sidelines with demand, with going into escrow because rates are higher. All comes down to rates, right? And so in next week's Monday Market Moment, we are going to talk about what the expectations are for interest rates based on the economy and what that means for demand, what it means for homes coming on the market, what it also means for prices and sales volume. So we'll take a look at that next week. Meanwhile, just a reminder, we have our San Diego County Council on Aging annual Socks for Seniors drive. We'd love to get some socks for seniors. It's the number one asked for clothing item in homeless shelters and rising number of seniors in homeless shelters. 3 ways to donate. You can definitely go online at Amazon, look up San Diego County Council on Aging socks or socks for seniors, and you can donate that way. We have some drop-off points as well. So a few different ways you can help support this very important cause, and we'll keep this graphic here for the next few weeks, the next few Monday Market Moments to keep reminding you. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. Don't forget to scan the QR code to track your home's value. And again, don't forget to tune in next Monday when we do a preview of 2025. Should be pretty interesting stuff. Have a great week. Have a great New Year's, and look forward to seeing you in 2025.